Boy, I haven't heard that in a while.
I know, right? That's a good one. Had
Uh,
me singing along. I'm like, I ain't heard that one in years.
in years.
Right.
Wow, wow, wow. And when that song came out, you had to be a little girl.
I don't know when that
William,
song
she's
came
still a
out.
little girl. Stop it, William.
Oh, thank you.
That song,
I'll take it at 50.
because I need to fact check this, but I believe that song came out in the 60s.
Well, no, I wasn't a little girl. I was not even. I don't even know if my mom and dad were thinking about me at that point.
I believe it came out in the 60s. No, you may have heard, no, you may not have been born when it came out, but that song played for a while. That's part of that Motown collection.
Yeah, my
Martha and
dad
Van
loved
Deltas.
it.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. The Temptations, Aretha Franklin. Let's see,
Yeah,
the Four Tops, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, Stevie
yeah,
Wonder. Should I say the Jackson Five?
yeah. We
On
still
and
listen to
on.
them.
Oh my.
Yeah.
And this is the thing about. I believe Junior Walker and the All Stars was part of that group too. Mike, do
Mm,
you know? I believe
Not
Junior.
right off the top of my head, no.
I know. Let's see, the Four Tops. I had a chance to see go to a concert,
mhm.
and I saw the Four Tops several times, and the Temptations. Whoa,
It's not
whoa!
Christmas until you hear "Silent Night" by the Temptations.
Oh,
Not
absolutely,
Christmas.
absolutely. And to see them in concert, the original group,
Mm-hmm.
I saw the original group, right? And these cats, not only could they sing, but the
Hmm.
choreography was off the charts. It was
All
just
right.
incredible. It was
Mhm.
absolutely incredible. So anyway, hey, welcome everyone to the Boomerang Radio Show. We haven't done this in a while. I think we were off last week or two, I believe.
Was it
Oh my,
two? I know I wasn't able to be here last week, so I don't. Were you and Mike here?
Mm-mm.
no,
Okay.
we
I
Okay.
don't
just
think
Well.
I've been on. I missed a week because I was feeling bad, but
oh
now
that's
actually
no,
it's
Oh,
been almost a month since I've been on.
I'm
yeah,
glad you're
and
At
feeling
least with
better.
Boomerang.
So
Oh no,
sorry
I'm
you.
fine. It's just called old age.
Mhm.
hey, when no, actually, and so Mike wasn't feeling well, and you were off, and I said, "Well, shucks, I'm going to watch some football." And
Hey, who won?
That's what it was. That's
Who
what
I
it
said,
won the
was.
game?
"Oh no, I mean there was on Sundays there's a host of games that's on." So
Right. Which one did you watch?
I watched. I can't remember right now. That was a week ago. That was a
Okay.
whole week.
You know what? I'm through. Okay. Never mind. Moving on.
Okay, and
Moving on.
okay, and
Yes.
check this out.
Yes.
So anyway, we have a sports show on Saturdays,
Right.
and so we've got this little. There's no money involved, but we be pitted
Mm-hmm.
against each other. Who's going to pick the most teams? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's so many games going on because on Sundays there are several games. They're the main two games that come on during the day at 1 o'clock and at 4 o'clock on the east.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and let's say that makes it 10 a.m. on the west when it starts, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so and 11 o'clock your time. So anyway, uh, I we bet against each other, and there's so many games going on. You got the 1 o'clock games. Okay, then they show you highlights of different games, right? Then you have the four
Mm-hmm.
o'clock games, and
Mm-hmm.
then you have the 8 o'clock games. So I just had a great time just watching football all day. So there were several teams that I was watching. So that's what I was trying to say.
I bet if money was involved, you know, because you have to keep that money straight.
So how much, William, how much did you not bet on yesterday's game?
Right.
Actually, I didn't bet anything.
Oh.
No, actually, I don't bet on games. I don't do that.
Right. We're just saying the bet is okay. I'll give 5 out of 6 or whatever, and we know it's not for money. Just how many did you get right?
Well, I'm waiting for the scorekeeper to get back on that because you have to understand there are 32 teams. Okay, and so we bet each and every Sunday. Just a
Who keeps
gentleman's.
score?
Well, Kevin, he's one of the he is actually the statistician on the program. So he'll tell us he'll tell us tomorrow night who's ahead.
Okay.
Okay, and I know that out of 30 some odd people, I'm in the top 10. But
So
there's one guy.
you're not keeping up with your own stats personally. I mean, I can
No,
understand him keeping up with everybody's, but these are the bets I placed. These are the ones I got right. You don't do that you don't do that yourself?
nope.
Okay,
Why
so
do that when I have a statistician? All I have to do is call him up.
because there's this thing where I'm from called pencil whooping, and you might be getting that.
Oh no, no, I will
Yeah,
check.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
will check. When they tell me how many I got right, I'll find out who it was and who I got right and who I didn't get right. So I'll go back and I'll fact check them. Oh no, 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 no. So,
Okay.
but anyway, it's a lot of fun. You know,
Yeah,
bragging rights.
I
And
bet
so,
they are having fun with with those numbers. I would too if you're not checking. I'm just playing. I don't condone cheating at all. My husband will tell you
oh no,
that. I just would know these are the ones I said and whatnot. I would at least have that listed somewhere. But that's
oh
just me
no, no, no,
personally.
no cheating involved. But actually, those of you, let me turn. Those of you who are into sports, you really need to check out the Studio W sports page. These guys are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they have no producers in their ears telling them anything, right? They don't.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, they're going off of memory and knowledge because they study these things on a daily basis, and they can tell you where a player came from. What college did he go to?
Mm.
Okay, what team was he first drafted by? And we're talking
Wow.
about football, baseball, basketball, men's and women's sports like women's
Mhm.
basketball. Okay. Uh, hey, Mike, no, they don't report on beach volleyball. Okay.
Ooh.
And that's a shame. And I want to know. I want to know who to talk to about that because women's beach volleyball is my all-time favorite. Those women are so athletic.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm sure that's what you're
Wow.
thinking of. I'm sure. I'm
Sorry,
sure.
sorry, Ann.
It's okay. It's
And,
okay.
and,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah. Just pretend I'm not here. I guess.
no, so I didn't do anything last week because you guys weren't here. Okay. That's
Sounds
right.
like you had a good restful
I did.
Sunday. That's
Sometimes it's
good.
fun to take off. Oh, but last Thursday, guys, if you met Mad Mike and Wild Will Coast to Coast, it was so much fun. Mike's buddy, and he's become a friend of mine as well. That's Alexander Garcia, and he's a bass player, a bass guitar player, right? And Mike, I had no idea we were going to have as much fun as we did. We always have fun.
Right.
But I really want to thank Alex if you're listening right now, Alex, because he was engaging, he was knowledgeable, and I learned a lot.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that we could go at least an hour, hour and a half or so, not a 3 hour show. But Alex had so much rattling around in his head, information wise, because he's not just a bass guitarist; he's involved in the music industry as not only as a performer, but he also helps people get the instruments because he's involved in sales and such to musicians. So he's got to know everything about all the different instruments that are out there and all the different additions you can add, the foot pedals and what makes this sound do this and how this wobbles and all that. But his knowledge is amazing. He had, what did he say, William? He had 13 bass guitars.
No. It was more than that. I think it was something like 15 or 17.
Wow.
He had a lot of bass. He has a lot of bass
A lot of
guitars,
bass
and
guitars.
some of them are pieces of art. I mean, he was able to show them on the show, and some of them just look like they should be wall hangers because they're just so pretty. But he talked about each one, and I'm this is me just being dumb, but I thought a bass guitar is a bass guitar is a bass guitar. They're all the same, right?
Right.
Right.
Oh no, some are 4-string, some are 5-string, some are 8-string. He showed us his
Wow.
8-string. And he talked about the differences in the needs to be able to play them proficiently and the nuances of the sound that he even got into the wood or the composite that the bass guitar is made out of, because it resonates a different sound depending on the type of wood, whether it's a dense wood or not so dense, whether it's made of
Wow.
composite. and he got into all the nuances of the stuff, and it was I enjoyed it thoroughly. Thanks for having him on, William.
Well, there was no issue. And matter of fact, I did get some feedback too from our audience. They were saying, "Wow, we thoroughly enjoyed that." And something I'm gonna piggyback on something you said, Mike, because I was a music major in high school and in college, right? And I didn't play after I got out of college, but anyway, I never knew that there was an 8-string bass guitar.
Mm,
I didn't know
Me
there
neither.
was a 7-string. I thought it went up to 6 strings.
mm.
Okay, but the 7 and 8, I'm saying, how did I miss that? Absolutely incredible, absolutely incredible. So it was a fascinating show. And guys, check out Mad Mike and Wild Will Coast to Coast each and every Thursday, 5:15 p.m. on the West Coast, 8:15 on the East, 7:15 Central Standard Time. We have special guests on, and we've even had up and coming artists that you may not have heard of before.
Well, look at you, Mr. Big Shot.
No, I wouldn't call it that until the checks start coming in. No.
Mhm.
No, we're still in the red. Believe me. Please believe me. So anyway, guys, welcome. This is Sunday, the
Yeah,
Boomerang Radio Show,
yeah.
and
Alright.
welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, we've been on hiatus for the last couple of weeks or so, but I thought that we'd come back in and just close out the year. And guys, I wish all of you a happy holiday season and Merry Christmas.
Yes. You guys too. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Did y'all, did y'all overeat or anything for Thanksgiving?
Well, I didn't, but Mike, wow, Mike, I think was that the gig? It wasn't a gig, but it was a gathering that you had where you had about, what was it, 39 pounds?
We do a
prime
friendsgiving. So my first friendsgiving was on Thanksgiving Day, which was Thursday. So we do a friendsgiving, and there's about 8 to 10 of us that get together every year. So I don't
Mhm.
take any gigs. I don't take any gigs during Christmas or on Thanksgiving,
That's nice.
because of that. So I had friendsgiving on Thursday. I had another one on Friday, the very next day, and I had another one on Sunday. So I had 3 friendsgivings along the way. So
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I live at home by myself, and every single one of these, they're trying to hand me 10 pounds of turkey and dressing to take home. It's like, I can't eat all that, guys. I don't want it to go to waste.
Right.
I took a little bit of this, a little bit of that, because I can make it last for a couple of days. But yeah, let's needless to say, I didn't go home hungry for very long.
Yeah,
What
we
was
had
that?
a kind of a
What was
quiet
that occasion?
Thanksgiving too.
I'm sorry, Ann.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. What was that occasion where you cooked? Now, not only did you play the music, but you cooked, I think it was like 30, was it 9
You're
pounds of prime
talking.
rib?
Okay, I follow you now. I belong to a club that's been in existence for over 100 years, and it started
Oh,
in
wow.
1921. It's the longest existing club in San Bernardino County, and it's called the State Club, and it was a networking club where businessmen and professionals could get together, have a meeting once a month, and say, "Oh, you do windows. Oh, and you do construction. And you're an architect, and you this." And they all commingled, and then they brought their friends in. And the whole premise now behind, well, even back then was, we do a whole steak dinner, and there was as many as 50. We're down to about 35 to 40 right now, and doing a little recruitment. So they come in once a month, and I did prime rib for them. Last
Wow.
November was our last meeting of the year. We don't start again until April. So I did 2 20-pound prime ribs. So 40 pounds of prime rib for about 35 guys. So
That's
Whoa.
lying.
we had a good time.
I bet you did.
And then after we do dinner with we do the appetizers and dinner and dessert. And then after that, then the good old boy comes out, and we start telling kind of off-color jokes and having a good time and having a light laugh in a in a good way, where it's none of it's evil. It's just jokes. Just like when you go to a comedy club, it's not all so perfectly clean. Sometimes
Right,
it gets a
right,
little bit dirty, but it's
right,
it's
Yeah.
never meant
right.
in an evil vein. So it's a good
Uh-huh.
old boys club, so to speak. And
Mhm.
even their wives will sit back on the outside patio there. They'll listen and they'll laugh too. So
Well, I'm glad you had a
Sounds very
good
fun.
time.
Yes, yeah, because I know that Mike, he cooks, right?
I
He
love to
called
cook.
me up one Thanksgiving,
Mm-hmm.
and he was rubbing it in, right? He said, what you doing for Thanksgiving? Blah blah blah. And so I told him I'm going to somebody's house, and he and Randy were together, and he was frying some turkeys.
Yep.
Mm.
I mean,
Wow.
and I
We kind of
love.
go back and forth. Some
Oh,
Thanksgivings we'll fry them.
oh,
Some Thanksgiving we'll do traditional bake, and it just lets us mix it up a little bit. And then
Yeah.
Christmas we do prime rib.
Wow, that's amazing.
wow. I didn't mean to go on. Well, we needed to turn this into a cooking segment,
Cooking
probably.
show. Yeah. If you ever
Uh,
need to know how to cook a prime rib properly, so you don't have
Yeah,
a brown
yeah,
ring, you
yeah,
give me a call. I'll show you how to cook a prime rib properly.
I will give
yeah.
you a call, my friend. I've never cooked one. I will give you a call, okay? But anyway, guys, oh my God, what a fun topic. We talked about music, we talked about food, and now let's get down to the nitty gritty here. Uh, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but there is something called the UMCJ. And you guys know that is the Uniform Military Code of Justice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a big stink going on right now because uh, the United States in September the 2nd struck a boat. They said allegedly there were drugs on the boat. There were 11 people. Killed, the first strike killed 9. And the reporting that I'm getting, then it left a piece of wreckage on the ocean about the size of a coffee table. And you have 2 men hanging on to it. This is what I'm getting. Fact check me if you might. But I'm getting it from a lot of different sources. But then the thing that I think is tragic and just devastating and should hurt anyone that say they are human and have feelings,
Mm, mm,
to kill those last 2 men.
mm,
Okay. Now, it is alleged that these boats, okay, that can't even reach the United States with the amount of fuel they can carry,
mm.
but are headed to the United States with drugs on it. I'm hearing report after report after report. There is no evidence presented. Now, Mike, I know you several weeks ago you showed me a picture, and I don't know where you got that from, but I'm getting other reports that there's no evidence. And so my question is, if you're blowing these boats up with missiles and these people to smithereens, how in the world can these packages of cocaine, and by the way, United States, we're not getting cocaine from Venezuela, okay? It's coming from Colombia. All right, so just to straighten things out, right? How are these packages intact? You blown these people up, you blown the boat up, everything is up, and how are these packages intact? So that's the question. But the thing about it, I want you and from a legal perspective, because some people say this is a military crime, and other people say, well, no, for it to be no a war crime. In order for it to be a war crime, you have to be in a war, and we're not in war with Venezuela, even though the White House might be saying that we are, but it takes Congress has to approve a war. So technically, we're not in a war. So other legal experts say, then this is pure murder. I need your your take on that, and Mike. Then I want you to jump in afterwards.
Well, first, I just want to say to the people who've lost family members at Brown University and
Oh
hurt
yes.
during that
Yeah.
mass shooting, as well as the really horrific mass shooting in Australia on the Jewish
Another
community
one.
that's I think killed at least 15 people and injured about 40 others. This is a hard time of the year to lose family and to lose friends. So truly our hearts go out to them, and I just pray the Holy Spirit comforts them and heals those who were injured, whether it was physically or emotionally and mentally, whatever the case may be. Um, I just I don't know what people are thinking, why this just keeps happening over and over and again, and I don't know why we won't do everything that we can to stop it. It just is heartbreaking, and it's also heartbreaking to see people lose their lives so needlessly. When they are traveling in a boat that have neither ICBMs, which are intercontinental ballistic
Continental
missiles
ballistic.
that can reach the United States, um, or are doing anything else that can directly harm the entire country as a whole. To see those people, you know, be blown up by a military strike from the United States of all things. I mean, how do you expect those people to fight back? I don't know. So from my personal perspective, what you have, if and this is me taking everything, um, you know, seeing everything in the light most favorable to the administration, even if these people are um, transmitting drugs with the intent to deliver them to the United States and sell them to United States citizens. This is not an issue of military conflict. As
Mhm.
Mike can tell you, this is what's called a crime. And we arrest people for those crimes. We work with our international partners to stop drugs coming from the United States or into the United States. That's where our relationships with other countries come into play, where we work together in order to investigate, in order to arrest, to prosecute, and to punish the people who commit crimes. Um, this does not rise to the level of people, the government of Venezuela,
Mhm.
you know, saying that they're at war with the United States. I would say you have more of a declaration of war from the countries that have infiltrated the United States by causing, say, terroristic attacks, in my opinion, by um, using malware and other types of issues, like even what Russia did in 2016 during the election. I would say that's more of an act of war than what's happening with people who are probably the lowest people on the totem pole doing the transportation of drugs. I mean, it's like using a missile on drug mules crossing the border. It's crazy. In my opinion, these are not the people who are in charge. More than likely, these are just their minions sent off to do the work. Now, as far as whether or not it's a war crime, it war crimes are supposed to occur during an armed conflict. Um, and what we're talking about are violations more than likely of the Geneva Convention. There's also the International Court of Justice. There are actual laws in place that we are supposed to follow when we are engaging in a military conflict with other nations. Like, for instance, a lot of people have been saying both Vladimir Putin and Benjamin Netanyahu are guilty of war crimes. I think there's a warrant for their arrest by the International Criminal Court of Justice, ICCJ, for
Mm.
both of them, which would mean that if they set foot out of their home countries and go to a country that will permit their arrest by the International Criminal Court of Justice, then they could be arrested and tried and imprisoned for the crimes that they have committed. So we are in this really weird area where, number one, you have a president that is acting in so many ways without Congress's approval. Excuse me, taking on more and more um, um, of the power that should be spread amongst the three branches, centering it among him within himself. And he's the one that's saying that they're committing an act of war, and he is directing the Department of I'm sorry, what did he rename it? War.
Department
Yeah.
of War.
Yeah, he renamed the Department of Defense the Department of War, which in this particular case that is accurate, since they are attempting to go to war with any and everybody. You know what I'm saying? I think at one point they've threatened Nigeria. I think the biggest thing that I want people to understand is that not only is this not an act of war by the drug dealers, it's a crime that should be punishable by whether laws within the state of Venezuela, the United States, Interpol, whatever the case may be. It is not an act of war. You also need to understand from past statements that Trump himself has made that he is looking for a reason to stay in power, for a means to stay in power. He's been told by the Speaker of the House that they can't keep him and they can't vote him, change the laws to vote so that they can get him an extension of his term in office. So the only other recourse that he sees, and he said it himself, is that suspending the voting that comes up in the next election due to a war. So if he manufactures a war and claims that we can't have an electoral process because we're at war now, keep in mind, the United States history has proven that we know how to still have elections when we are at war with other countries. It doesn't stop anything. But I would not be surprised that come the next presidential election, that this is his reason for, if not war with Venezuela, then some other country that he picks a fight with, to suspend the right to vote so that he can remain in power. Just that's what I think is going to be his next way of trying to remain in power. Not to mention trying to take it by force if that doesn't work. But that's what I believe he's going to do.
Well, and and I tell you, he has in his cabinet an absolute nut job with Pete Hegseth. It is absolutely, this man proves day after day after day after day that he's unqualified for the job. I think his highest rank was it? I don't want to misstate, but it wasn't that high, and I think he was in the Coast Guard or something like that.
He was with the Secret Service, by the way.
Now?
He was with the Secret Service.
He was also in the military.
Pretty high ranking. He was military, but then he became Secret Service afterward. I'd say that's a pretty high level to reach.
Okay. So let's go to you, Mike. So are you saying that Pete Hegseth is doing a good job? Or how would you rate his performance so far?
I can do that, but you guys covered an awful lot of information, and I've been making notes, so I do need to go back to a whole bunch of stuff that's been said here already, because I have mixed feelings about some of it, and I have very hard feelings about some of it. I'll answer your last question first. I think Pete Hegseth is scaring the hell out of people because he's actually doing something about it. He's doing what the other people in his position like Mayorkas and all these other people that were cabinet members, were namby-pamby, milquetoast, and didn't do nothing about it to stop this kind of crime that's been occurring against the United States. So, yeah, I'm in favor of Pete Hegseth. Now, having said that, going back to William originally mentioning these very benign fishing boats that are just, they're not doing anybody any harm, and they'll never make it to the United States. Have you seen the video, William? I just need you to, have you seen the videos of the boats?
I saw the, thanks for asking that question. I saw, I've seen initial strikes on these alleged drug boats. Okay, let me ask you a question.
Well, no. I know. I just one at a time here, William, because you like to go sideways on me, and it's very hard to keep track. We're talking about we're talking about the boats. Did they look like fishing boats to you? Did you see the packages? Did you see the packages of drugs that were on those boats that were clearly visible?
No, I didn't see.
Oh, you didn't see that they weren't fishing boats, and that's very convenient for you.
No, hold on, Mike. You're asking me a question. No, I saw the boats. Yeah, they look like fishing boats to me. Did I see the packages of drugs? No. And guess what? Apparently, no one else has either. Because
you need to go back and look at the videos that they've played over and over in our news. Now, come on, you guys spoke for a long period of time. Let me have some room here.
I'm going to let you have. You asked.
Well, you never let me give feedback on what you were saying.
Okay, hold on. For the sake of argument, we are going to look at everything in the light most favorable to the administration. We're going to say that it wasn't a fishing boat, it was a drug boat, and these are we're working on this premise. Not that necessarily it's true. We're just working on the premise that even if all of this is true, what is right and what is wrong. So, right. Mike, we're just going to say it wasn't a fishing boat.
All I'm saying is,
I promise to get there. No, Mike, stop.
Mike, let me say something.
Well,
no,
you know what? If you're now, Mike, listen, William. It is
a question.
It is 3:32. So UNM has spoken for 30 minutes.
And Mike, you can have the next 30. That's not the point. You asked me a question, but
I just need a simple answer.
No,
then you want to go somewhere else with it. Right. It's not fair to go somewhere else. I want to stick to one thing at a time and one thing only at a time.
Well, guess what? Then don't ask me any questions if you don't.
Okay, then I won't answer questions. I'll state what I've seen. I've seen a video over and over on the news, and ABC, NBC, CNN, and all these videos they've been showing of these boats being blown up. Clearly, they are flying across the water. That's not a fishing boat. Clearly, they have no sails. Clearly, they don't even have a rig on top. It's just an open boat. That is not a fishing boat. Clearly, you can see the packages are drug packages. So don't play this. Oh, they were just minding their own business fishing boats, because they weren't, in my opinion. So until you're going to look at the videos that have been shown on regular television and on CNN and MSNBC and all the other stations, until you've looked at those videos, then you don't have a say in this. So those are videos of boats that are flying across the water. Clearly, they have packages on board that are all strapped and stuff. Congress, by the way, has the right to declare war, right? So what happened with Vietnam? Congress never declared war with Vietnam. That was a military action, but that went on for how long? A decade or more? Yeah. So don't tell me that Congress has to declare all these wars. That's true. It is.
How do you know?
I'm just telling you.
So how do you know?
Okay, William, let him finish.
I'm letting him finish, but okay.
William, let him finish. Let him finish.
So these people that are bringing these drugs in this country, and I believe, based on what I've seen, that not only is Colombia bringing the drugs or manufacturing and bringing the drugs to America, I believe that Venezuela is as well, and I believe China's involved because they're manufacturing a lot of the precursors that create these drugs. So these countries are not being really kind to the United States. They are profiting massive millions and possibly billions of dollars off of the death of more than 100,000 people a year in the United States. Now, Anne was talking about interballistic missiles and such being on our shores and boats. Well, does it matter how they kill the American people? Is the mechanism so important that it has to be a missile to kill people, or can it just be the drugs that kill hundreds of thousands of people a year in America? beyond, and it's beyond a crime what they're doing. It's not, and you mentioned that drug smuggling is a crime, but they have created it so it's not just a simple crime of drug smuggling. They are killing people at extremely high rates. So it goes beyond just a normal drug thing. And what they've tried to do in the past that hasn't worked is they have arrested people. They've tried to convict them. They get released back on the street. They go back to their country where they came from, and they do it again. It's wash, rinse, and repeat over and over and over. So how long do we stand for these countries sending these drug lords over here, or by way of these drug lords, they're sending their minions over here to transport this dope to kill our American people? How long do we stand for it when nothing is actually happening that has a beneficial factor to stop these hundreds of thousands of people from being killed in America? You cannot, and as far as people, that's a different subject. Let me go a different way. Arrests haven't worked. They just go back and they do it again. It's just a swinging door. These are not just criminals transporting drugs or manufacturing drugs. They have been declared by the President of the United States as a terrorist organization. And that gives the president wide latitude to go after these terrorist organizations, because it's no longer just a simple crime anymore. They are creating terror. Do you not think that 100,000+ people getting killed in America every year, do you think that's not terrorizing America and American families? Do you don't think there's a lot of grief that goes along with these people that are dying because of the efforts of these other countries? War is not pretty, folks. And this may be a skirmish or whatever you want to declare it, but it is not pretty. And people die. If you don't think so, go back and look at the stats from Vietnam. And I want personally, and I'm not just Trump, I want a president and I want a secretary of war to not be some namby-pamby, whitewash, oh, well, they're just misunderstood kind of person. I want them to be a foaming at the mouth pit bull going after anybody that attacks America. And if they happen to attack America with terror, or they attack America with drugs, or they attack American people in any way, shape, or form, I think the ends justifies the means, that we go after these people and make it stop, not just Band-Aid it. Well, we put some people in jail and they got back out and did it again. I don't want Band-Aids. I want resolution. And I already mentioned Colombia and Venezuela and China are all in cahoots together. And as far as Trump's fourth term, and you mentioned that you think this is what he's going to do, I'm going to make my prediction. I'm going to say it's not going to happen, not even close, because the American people aren't going to stand for it. And when Trump brings these things up, all he's doing is trolling people. All he's doing is getting them all wound up. He's not going to run for a fourth term. He's not going to declare martial law. He's not going to take over and say, well, we can't have an election because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's not going to happen. It's not even going to come close. Thank you for listening to my rant.
Okay. All right. Let me just say something. Okay. You said a lot, Mike, and let me just go back to something. The things that this guy has been doing, I'm not going to put anything past him. As a matter of fact, and I don't want to get off because I want to get back to this situation in Venezuela, because this is proving to be a very, very dangerous situation. Not only for the Venezuelans, but also our troops.
For all of America, because
All
people
of
don't
America.
understand that Venezuela is linked, like you said, to China, but they also have very close ties to Russia. So this brings
Absolutely.
us even closer to armed conflict with those two countries, especially since we're already in this precarious situation due to Ukraine and Taiwan.
That's exactly right. And because, as a matter of fact, Putin is meeting with the Venezuelan president. They are tight, and Putin is also threatening the United States. Now, how far is that going to go? Look, the United States has the most powerful military in the world. There's no question about that. However, we can't be everywhere. Okay, we can't be everywhere in every conflict, because we have troops around the world right now, and some of them are carrying out missions and things of that nature. So you have to look at it like this. Okay, whatever number we have in that military, we cannot have our military spread too thin that we can't tackle the most pressing conflicts. But getting back to this, I want to get back to something. And Mike said something about what I watch. I watch a lot of stuff. Okay. And even Fox, as long as I can stomach it. I've seen these boats. And whether they're speeding or whatever they're doing, okay, I have not. And I've seen the inside of those boats as far as the picture quality will allow me to. I have not seen any drugs on those boats. The United States, as a matter of fact, I'm talking about we're going from all over the spectrum. Nobody has come up with any evidence of any drugs on these boats. And the one that we're talking about, as far as September the 2nd is concerned, that boat was not even heading to the United States. It was going east of Venezuela. It wasn't even heading towards the United States. Okay? And I don't want to hear this crap about that we can go in and do whatever we want to do, wherever it is around the world. I don't want to hear that. Because there are things, the United States is one country in this vast world of ours. We can't go in and just take anything that we want, do whatever we want, because we're the United States. Mm-hmm. There are some agreements. This president is trying to pull us out of NATO, which is absolutely ridiculous. Okay? And he seems to be siding with people like Putin and Xi and that cat up in North Korea. Mm. But let's get back to something real quick. Then we just seized an oil tanker, a Venezuelan oil tanker.
Yep.
Why?
I guess there were drugs on that too, huh?
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I have my own ideas, and I've had them for a while. And that may prove to be illegal as well. And in some cases, it could be declared an act of war. Why Venezuela when the vast amount of cocaine is not coming from Venezuela? That's a fact.
How do you know?
Fentanyl, because it's been reported.
How do you know? Because you listen to CNN?
Mike, we're going to have some decorum. If I'm not going to interrupt you, you're not going to interrupt me.
Which is fine, but I would like to have a discussion.
Well, Mike, let me finish.
You forced me into doing what I had to do because you wouldn't let me get in on anything. So I had to do my rant.
And let's go to Ann.
Okay.
Okay. After we had the hold on, Ann, hear me out, please.
Oh, I thought you said let's go to Ann.
After we had the original discussion, and Mike was talking about how unfair it was that you and I went on. I think that both of us gave him the time to say everything he wanted. He went down his entire list. So I thought that's a decorum that we're going to follow. Okay. And that's what we're going to follow. And then if you have a question, say, well, you might have a question. If I have a question,
William, I have a question.
Okay, yes, sir.
What's east of Venezuela? Africa.
I don't know.
So those boats are going to Africa? This is what I mean. I want to have a discussion, but you move on.
Stop complaining. I'm not asking.
I am complaining.
No. East of Venezuela, I know. Okay. Africa is not North America. So the point is,
I'm looking at the world map. East of Venezuela is Africa.
Well, cool.
So those boats were going to Africa. Those speed boats were going to Africa.
I don't care.
This is what I mean. I want to. You make a statement. You make a statement that's wrong. You make a statement that's wrong, but then you don't let me say anything.
No, hold on, Mike. It was not going north. Let's put it that way. The boat was not going north.
How do you know?
Every report, well, I'm getting it from NBC, CBS. Okay, I'm getting from a whole bunch of news. Oh, you sound like Trump right now. Wow. You sound just like you. Mike,
they are.
You know,
Wow.
Mike,
They
you're just
are.
going complete. You're going MAGA. You've gone MAGA.
I'm not Meg. I'm not
No,
anybody.
no, yes, you are. Everything is fake news. Fake news. Anytime, and we talk. When
The
it comes
facts
to
don't cease to exist because you
well, guess
choose
what?
to ignore them.
No,
East
I'm
of
not.
Venezuela is Africa.
I
That's
don't
a
care.
fact.
I don't care. It's not north.
That's the problem. You're not caring. You're not looking
No,
into it any
because guess
deeper.
what? If it's
You got to
Africa,
look into this
Asia,
stuff.
wherever it is, it wasn't to America.
How do you know? Were you on the boat?
East of Venezuela is not north. I know that much.
You're the one that said east. I didn't say they're going
Well,
east.
guess what? Those are reports that I'm getting. Those are reports that I'm getting.
That's because you listen to morons.
And guess what?
Wow.
None of them have said north.
Wow.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so you want me to believe? You want me to believe that America blew up a ship that wasn't even headed to America? Does that make sense to you?
Mike,
Does it make sense to you that we blew up a ship that wasn't even coming into America? Does that make sense?
That we're blowing up a boat at all?
With this current
They're terrorists that are killing our people. Are you in favor? Are you in favor for drugs coming into America? Because it
Are
seems
you
like
in favor of the terrorists in Little Rock who were neo-Nazis parading the streets?
You asking me or what? What?
Okay, hold on.
You want to buy into everything that DEI administration that you voted for is doing.
Hold on.
Crazy.
Go in.
Hold on. I just wanted to say,
Crazy.
I just want to say before we go any further, I think part of the issue is that Mike thinks that we've been talking longer than he has. I know I tend to watch the clock so I can end stuff, when it's time to end it and whatnot. So I will say that at the beginning, we talked for about 15 to 20 minutes about just the fun stuff we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the rest of it started. So by 5:32, we hadn't talked for 30 minutes. We did each talk for a significant length of time.
You are correct.
But most of the time was us
correct.
doing the banter.
Chit-chat.
So it wasn't that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in terms of the main question on the table, was this legal or was it not legal? Since we don't like CBS and we don't like Fox or whatnot, we're going to go to somebody that doesn't have a dog in this hunt, called the BBC. And they have the question in the title: U.S. strikes on Latin American drug boats, in quotations. What do we know? And are they legal? This article was written December 5th, 2025 by Matt Murphy and Joshua Cheatham. And it says questions are mounting over the... Yes.
And I'm sorry. Hey, guys, can you hold on just a second? I got one of my horses is making a huge amount of noise outside. So if you could chit chat about something else for a second, I'll be right back.
Okay. Well,
I'm sorry to do this to you guys.
Okay. All right.
no,
All right, I'll be right back.
Tell you what we can't do. And why don't we do this?
Okay.
Okay. Why don't we play some music till Mike gets back?
Sounds good.
How about that?
Sounds like a plan.